Hello, everyone, and welcome back to This Week in Solar. I'm your host, Aaron Nichols, the Research and Policy Specialist here at Exact Solar in Newtown, Pennsylvania. And this episode is part of our short interview series that we're doing to connect with people who have been in renewable energy a long time and assure anyone who's in the industry or who's thinking about going solar that just because the incentives of the Inflation Reduction Act are temporarily gone, that renewable energy is not going anywhere. Today's guest is someone who has been in the solar and renewable world for quite a long time and is now building an exciting product that's going to help solar companies as we go forward. Let me introduce Dhanur Grandhi.
Howdy,
Hey, Dhanur.
having me.
Yeah, welcome to the show. So,
Excited.
yeah,
We need more shows like this.
do we?
We definitely do. There's there's real conversations that need to happen, and I appreciate what you're doing.
Well, thanks a lot, man. And yeah, you are the CEO of Wattbot. So why don't you just give us a quick intro about who you are and what Wattbot does or is intended to do?
Yeah, totally. So I've been in this space we call residential solar or distributed energy or consumer electrification. Goes by different names, but been in this space for about 15 years. My story started in China way back when I was helping solar panel manufacturers ship their goods around the world, and it hit me then that there's a new energy economy
Yeah.
upon us, super exciting. So I quit my gig, moved to the US, studied energy, started one of the industry's first solar software-enabled solar companies. It was like a concierge shop. Sold that and spent 10 years after that helping build amazing things at Sunrun and Mosaic and Span. Uh, so the last 10 years, I've spoken to maybe 1,000 homeowners at various stages of their consideration. I've worked with hundreds of trade businesses. I've shadowed installs. I've done ride-alongs. I've gotten on like I've had a seat in call centers, uh,
Wow.
trying to go deep and understand why people buy or why they don't, and what we can do to help them make better decisions, faster decisions. Uh, so yeah, a decade of all of that. I needed a break, but I also couldn't get away from the space. So I started Wattbot with my co-founder and CTO. Uh, our our goal here is to drive the adoption of
Yeah.
solar and electric.
Mm.
Uh, but it started with a very intellectually honest insight, I think, and that is we have some amazing products. But when you just look at the innovation that is manifested on hardware, software, services, financing, orchestration, it's amazing. But on the other hand, the typical consumer is unaware. They're
Mm.
they're apathetic.
Yeah.
They're irrational, and this stuff is too complicated. So people are not making decisions as fast as we need them to, as many as we need to see happen. So that's why we started Wattbot. We asked ourselves, is there room for a really cool curiosity-led engagement layer?
Mm.
Something that anyone can, plug in their street address into and explore their options. So that's
Yeah.
what we're building at Wattbot,
Okay.
with the goal of helping everyone solarize and electrify.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's amazing because I think the one thing that we've realized at Exact is that there's such a burden of education that has to happen for a homeowner or business owner to even want to go solar. They first have to learn maybe about the incentives, and then they have to learn about all the stuff in their jurisdiction, and then they have to learn about how the project's actually going to go through and how it's going to be built, and they have to get to a level of comfort with that where they're okay with putting it on their roof, and they have to get over the threshold thinking that they're going with a good company and that their home is going to be respected. And as you and I know and have talked about, there have been some companies in this industry that haven't really treated that trust very well and have created more of an uphill battle for solar companies. But then there are the good guys as well. And I think I've heard you talk before about enabling the strong tail EPC. And I'd like to hear you elaborate a little bit more on what that means for the audience and also how Wattbot helps people or helps strong tail EPCs.
Yeah. So when you look at the 5 million homes in the US that have gone solar, believe it or not, about 70 to 75% of them were installed by a local business. Uh,
Really?
yeah, there are these big names on the leaderboard, but Sunrun and whatnot, but they haven't done all the jobs themselves. They have subcontracted it.
Mm,
Uh, and this highlights like something very fundamental that we need to recognize about this industry. Solar and storage are home improvement projects, and home improvement is local.
hmm
There is no industry without the local trades. There is a good reason why we don't have national roofers and plumbers and
hmm
landscapers, is because it's a trades game.
Yeah.
And
I always like to say, have you heard of a national HVAC company?
right?
You have.
So if we are serious about helping this industry recover and expand exponentially, we have to be very, very serious about the local trades. They
hmm
are the indispensable cog in this wheel of deployment.
hmm
Uh, and the phrase strong tail really refers to them. Before the budget bill went down, we had a very specific definition. We thought of the strong tail as the most reputed local installers. That's still true, but we're expanding the definition to refer to any business that is still in it to win it, right?
Mm,
Budget bill or not, subsidy or not, like we are going to play, we're going to make it work because solar is that good a value proposition. If you're
yeah.
playing that game, you're part of the strong tail.
Nice.
And yeah, we this segment is critical to recovery, and we're focused on enabling the segment.
Okay. So how did your journey working for some of the biggest names in the space lead you to want to enable the local contractor?
It was uh, it was actually a two step jump, I guess. Um, it goes back to what I was saying about consumers being largely skeptical and unaware and irrational and having short attention spans. So
hmm
when you think about that and when you think about the products we're selling, technical, complicated, benefits not super predictable. When you add those things, like you're in a situation where it's really, really hard to sell. It's really hard to convince people to take on these projects. So what did I learn at these big companies? Well, I learned that there's hundreds of thousands of companies trying to reinvent the wheel, trying to sell the same stuff to the same people in their own little way. Uh,
Mm,
and that is just not efficient. Like there is no sales and marketing efficiency there. What we really need is a layer that puts the customer first, right? Set aside the widget. Set aside, who will sell you the widget. There is a more fundamental question of what is this thing? Can this work for your home? Can it help you? Is now a good time to act? So that was the main motivation, and that was the main learning as well. It doesn't matter if you have like two or three really cool companies that have a whiz bang sales pitch. That's not going to drive adoption. You need something that works for the consumers first, fundamentally. So when we decided to start this company and build that consumer engagement layer, our next question was how do we take it to the consumers? Like, do we go direct and spend a bunch of money on ads and direct to consumer acquisition, or do we put it in the hands of the sellers? And we decided to do the latter because there's lots of businesses trying to engage customers. They have the local reputation, they have the ground game, they have the expertise, they've been around forever. And they're really important to home improvement projects. So that was our two-step jump. Step one, build something that is agnostic of like seller and widget and really put the homeowner or the consumer first. And step two, give that software to the trades, help them sell and market themselves better.
Okay.
Does that make
And
sense?
yeah. And how does Wattbot actually help the consumer get to the point where they want to make a decision?
Yeah. So right now we're focused on solar,
Mhm.
and we're doing a few things here. Number one, we're leaning really hard into an installer's reputation.
Mhm.
That is the thing that can instantly differentiate, the best from the rest.
Yeah.
Uh, and we think the solar, when a homeowner is going solar, they're really making two decisions,
Yeah.
right? Is solar good for me, and who should I go with?
Right.
So maybe if I had to do over on the question, like those are the two strategies we're employing. We're helping homeowners answer those two questions. Is solar good for my home? And is this a good company to go with? So the good company to go with, reputation, right? If you worked hard on building your reputation, like that's your muscle. We help you flex that muscle.
Yeah.
Uh, and then is solar good for my home? The way we're approaching that is unintuitively using public data. There's a ton of really good public data out there that can help people answer the basic questions of whether solar can work for them. Right? Is their roof good enough? What is their exposure to outages based on the quality of their grid and other catastrophic risks
Mhm.
that they face? How protected or not are they from electric bill hyperinflation?
Yeah.
How many people are them? How many people around you have been going solar? Because that's a good proxy. That's all public data, and that all helps people get to the answer of can solar work for my home in a non-pushy, non-salesy way.
Yeah.
Uh, and consumers like deserve that. So
Yeah. And though, I mean, the companies love that as well. Those are the best kind of leads to get is someone who's actually done their own research. They know what the product is about. They don't need much convincing. They've learned all this stuff. I mean, it's helping both the consumer and the company.
that's right. And the best solar salespeople will tell you that education is the best way to sell.
Mm.
Uh, but unfortunately, like no one has the incentive to do pure education,
Right.
right? You have to sneak in your sales pitch. So we can really help out.
Yeah. And try to think of a good transition.
To the next one.
Yeah. Well, it's interesting that you've gotten there after such a long career in this industry. And I'm interested in how you got to that step of realizing that, educated consumers make better decisions, are going to go with better companies. What are some of the major changes you've seen in our industry over that 10-year career that you've had that's led you to now building Wattbot?
I'm sorry, I don't have a better answer for you, but I haven't seen much
Okay.
uh, in the evolution of how companies engage with consumers. I have
Yeah.
seen a ton of innovation on the hardware side. Like there's
Mm.
just some amazing stuff
Yeah.
that's available. I've seen a ton of innovation on the sales software side.
Yeah.
So how can we help the salespeople have better proposals and quoting tools, etc., at the time of transaction? But I have not seen anything that has truly inspired me on at an engagement level. People will not make decisions because someone sold something to them. They will make decisions because they intuitively understand it. They understand the need for it, the urgency of it, the benefits of it, all like hyper personalized to their property, to their preferences, to like their local climate, to their financial situation.
Right.
That is engagement, and it doesn't happen at the kitchen table in one conversation. It happens at the pace of human consideration. And
Right.
I have not seen anything that's inspired me along those lines in the last 10 years.
Okay, so people are interested in custom and they want to quickly see the benefits for their specific situation, pros and cons, their neighborhood, the people they live around, all that stuff.
That's right. And I don't know about quickly because some of these things cannot be done quickly.
Yeah, we just we just had one of our sales guy sell somebody he's been nurturing for I think 8 years.
Okay, yeah. 8 years is makes that person a little exceptional.
Yeah.
We actually think when you do it the right way, you'll end up with longer cycle times because you're going at the pace of the human consideration, not at the pace of a commissioned salesperson.
Right.
But overall, you'll have more people going through the funnel and therefore a higher net conversion.
Right. So it just builds on itself and snowballs over time.
That's right.
Yeah. All right, so now that the Inflation Reduction Act has effectively been repealed and we don't have the same incentives for now as we did or as we've had for almost 20 years, you were talking about the people who are going to stay in the game no matter what and how they're going to become the strong tail. What are the moves that you think they need to make as we move forward to make sure that they're weathering what might be a hard time?
It starts with belief. You have to believe that solar can be sold without subsidies.
Hmm.
Maybe not immediately, but fundamentally, like the value is there because
Yeah.
the cost of the substitute is skyrocketing,
Yeah.
uh, and power bills are not coming down.
Yeah.
There's just structural reasons why they won't come down. And then on the other hand, you have severe weather events and seasons that are making lives viscerally more uncomfortable.
Right.
Uh, you have new flex markets that are opening up and paying people for doing nothing, just participating in programs. And you have amazing hardware, software, and services. So step number one is to like look at that and tell yourself that subsidy-free solar is possible. We have an amazing technology. And there's real value.
Yeah.
Uh,
I'm sure that, I mean, even compared to the price per watt you were probably quoting 10 years ago, I'm sure nowadays it's a deal without subsidies.
sorry, say that again.
So, like, I'm sure that if we look at the price per watt that the companies you were working for were quoting 10 years ago and then the improvements in hardware, I'm sure it's a great deal comparatively today, even without subsidies.
That's right. And it reveals a slightly uncomfortable truth. The subsidies spawned an entire like cottage industry of middleware, right?
Mm,
The lead generation economy, the commission sales economy, the financial engineering economy. Like you have, I don't know, hundreds of businesses that were born and were built around the ITC. So as a result of it, like they took away some of the value of the ITC, and the ITC didn't actually go to the homeowner.
yeah,
Uh,
it just kind of inflated by whatever the amount of the subsidy was.
that's right. So when all of that goes away, like in some markets, it's almost like the ITC never went away, like just because a bunch of the intermediary costs went away as well. Anyway, back to your question, like how should like people think about things in a subsidy-free world? Well, number one, let's get leaner, meaner, smarter about the sales and marketing stack. Like that is a really, really important like strategy and opportunity. At Wattbot, we just launched referrals. Like our challenge to the entire strong tail is, can you shift everything towards referrals or word of mouth? You don't need to be spending on any other channel if you have a reputation you can stand on.
Hmm.
Like that's one example. There's new forms of financing emerging. We're going to see state level like reforms on permitting. By the way, quick side note, you might be more familiar than this than I am, but I'm talking to a lot of local businesses who've been quoting 20, 30, 40% under market, even with the ITC. So there's a lot of businesses that are pretty cost competitive.
Yeah.
It starts with that mindset um, of of recognizing that solar can be sold subsidy free, and then it's a systematic like we just got to systematically attack the sales and marketing cost stack.
Yeah.
Uh, my friend Ravi has a whole blueprint on how we can get to $2 a watt by 2026. I absolutely love that. We need blueprints like that. He talks about a whole lot of areas beyond customer acquisition where we can cut costs as well. Um, I'll end with this. The challenge is for us to reconfigure ourselves. We have all the pieces, but the
Right.
business models, the partnerships, like we just need to rethink things.
Yeah. Well, to bring it home, I have a fun moonshot question I've been asking everybody that I've been interviewing for this little series we're doing. And it came from the fact that I spoke at my grandma's 80th birthday party last month. And I was reflecting on that, writing a LinkedIn post afterwards. And I realized that with my grandma having been alive for 80 years, she was born into a world where what we know as renewable energy didn't even exist. She was born 5 years, I think, or maybe 10 years after the Rural Electrification Act. So, I mean, when we even right after we decided to electrify most of America, my grandma was born. And solar wasn't even invented as we know it until 1954. And we had windmills, but they pumped water on farms and didn't produce a lot of electricity. And the ones that did were just a tiny little novelty. And then, like Jimmy Carter put solar on the White House in 1979 in her lifetime. And all the way on till today, there's been so much that's happened in 80 years. I really think that this administration is just going to be a small bump in the road. And I'm curious, and don't worry, no one's going to hold us to it. We'll both be gone. But what do you think's going to happen to clean energy 80 years from now? What's it going to look like?
Well, first of all, I hope there's no such thing as clean energy. All energy
Mm,
just needs to be clean.
yeah.
Uh, I also hope the world in general like is we're powering things with electricity and not fire. Like, I,
Yeah,
I,
I like to say right now we're just finding things to dig them up and burn them so that we have to find more things to dig up and burn.
yeah, man, like I'm with you. Okay, if you're asking me this really long-term question, I'm going to get philosophical for a second.
Please do.
Like this is a civilizational question. I think any civilization that inhabits this planet makes one decision that determines the long-term trajectory of their civilization. And that decision or that question is, how do we make our energy? Or is there a smarter way to do that to power our life? Like, can you imagine this dystopia where 80 years from now we have like I don't know what comes after robots that do everything, but we are in some futuristic world, but then somewhere in the corner we have people like shoving coal into fire pits to like power this world. Like it just doesn't make sense. So
Yeah.
so yeah,
Yeah.
I hope it's all electric. I hope
Yeah.
clean energy and energy are just synonymous.
Yeah.
Uh, I also hope we have true wireless electricity. Like today we have wires transporting electrons like hundreds of miles from point of generation to point of use, and then we have more wires from like the outlet to your appliances. I hope all wires go away.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
so yeah,
Man, that would, I mean, it would make the landscape so much prettier. Yeah, I've been saying that it just seems to be a battle between people who have a cool new way of doing something and people who are comfortable living in a pile of trash and pollution as long as they get to keep making money.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we can bring it home there. Danur, thank you so much for coming on today, and yeah, look forward to all of the work that we get to do together in the future.
Likewise, man. It was a pleasure. Thank you.